Arizona's Republican Superintendent of Public Instruction, John Huppenthal, made headlines recently when he stated that the Republican-led legislature has been really chintzy with education, has cut too much, not restored enough. And listen, people have been saying this for quite some time now. So why did this make headlines? Because it was one Republican saying it to a body of Republicans. And John Huppenthal himself is a former member of the state legislature. He is someone who has voted against education funding, but in his new role, he perhaps is starting to recognize that money does matter. He has said the opposite at times, but what is going to happen here in Arizona if education funding levels remain where they are? Remember that Arizona cut more than any other nation in the country. 22%, more than $1 billion during the recession. And the legislature will not restore those funds. The only money that came back to schools this year was the court-ordered inflationary funding, and the state is still fighting that at the Supreme Court level. But this is what's going to happen. Arizona in 2015 is adopting the new PARCC test, the Common Core Standards. Arizona has learned recently that it's going to cost probably $5 to $7 million more a year just to administer the test. Now, mind you, most teachers have not even been trained in the new Common Core Standards. Our schools don't have the resources for new books, and they don't have the new technology that's going to be required to take this online test. Now, here's what we know about Common Core. In New York, where students started taking it, they're a little bit ahead of things. They are failing it madly. Okay, so if Superintendent Huppenthal gets elected again in 2014, what's going to happen in 2015 when our kids start to take the test? They are going to fail madly. And who is going to be held responsible for that? Aha, Superintendent Huppenthal. So I think that is one of the reasons behind his change of heart. What was interesting, though, about this, and I don't know if Dave thinks the same, but is that he actually specifically went after the legislature for their corporate giveaway program. So remember, at the same time that they're slashing education, they are giving away hundreds of millions of dollars in corporate tax cuts. Because remember, that's what brings companies to Arizona, those corporate tax cuts. If we have a failing education system, that's okay with businesses because they don't need an educated population here in Arizona. Well, Superintendent Huppenthal knows that that's inaccurate, and he said that only loser states give away corporate giveaways. So that was the piece that I was actually most surprised by. Not the change of heart, if you want to call it that, but the fact that he would attack Republican legislators over the corporate giveaways. So I don't know what you think of that,
Well,
Dave.
First of all praise to Superintendent Huppenthal. He's late to the party, but he's beginning to realize that we do need more money, and this happens often to conservatives, often to Republicans, that when something becomes their responsibility, they wake up and realize the ideology of lower taxes and let's not throw money at education or social services doesn't quite work. So I'm pleased that he did this. But this is something that's happening all over the country, really, and it happened a bit with Brewer seeing the light with the Medicaid expansion, that Republicans are beginning to say maybe the ideology, maybe the absolute rock-hard belief in their austerity programs doesn't work when you put it in the real world. So I'm hoping that Superintendent Huppenthal is waking up to that. I hope he can get some Republicans on his side to wake up, and maybe they, together with Democratic legislators, can do what's right for schools here in Arizona.
Well, Andy Tobin, the Speaker of the House, was quick to fire right back at him and claim that he was a hypocrite because he supported, these corporate giveaways when he was in the legislature, and he claims that he doesn't come in to advocate for better funding. He is also going to face a Democratic opponent in the upcoming election, and so this could be part of a shift there to be more moderate.
We'll find out what happens, but meanwhile, anybody who's in our camp to give us more money for schools that are desperately needed, I'm going to support that.